All right, welcome back. I hope you guys had a great break. And we are going to jump right into dividing whole numbers. So we looked before break at multiplying 2 and 3 digit numbers. Now we're going to look at that division. So let's get started. The Chase family is driving 3,000 miles across the country. They plan on driving for 5 days, traveling the same distance each day. How many miles will the Chase family drive each day? So I like how they drew a picture to help us understand the problem. We're not just going to multiply the two numbers that they give us. We have to think about what the problem is asking and what's happening in this story. In this story, they are driving 3,000 miles, and each day they plan on driving for a certain number of miles, but they need to get there in 5 days. So they have broken their path, their 3,000 miles down, into 5 sections. And we need to figure out how many miles are in each of these sections of the road. All right, what division equation can be used to solve this problem? What division equation? So I know it's going to be a division, and it has an equal sign because it says equation. I know in division that I have to put my largest number first. So I'm going to put 3,000 divided by the other number that it's giving me. So 3,000 divided into 5 different sections equals my unknown number, because I don't know what 3,000 divided by 5 equals. What is the related multiplication equation? Awesome. We know multiplication and division are opposites. So we can take this equation and turn it into a multiplication. So we have our question mark times 5. What number times 5 equals 3,000? What basic multiplication fact can you use to help find the answer? So when we talked about those basic multiplication facts, we did 5 times what gives us this beginning part of the answer. I can't just pick, this is a little tricky one to start us out with, because we can't just do the 3. We have to do 30, because 3 is smaller than 5. We can't multiply anything, any whole number by 5 and get 3. But we can multiply 5 times something and get 30. So what basic multiplication fact can you use to help find the problem? 5 times some number gives us 30. And I know my math facts. So I know that 5 times 6 gives me 30. Now, if you divide 30 hundreds into 5 equal groups, how many hundreds are in each group? So they're telling us that we are dividing 30 hundreds into 5 equal groups. Okay? How many hundreds are in each group? I'm trying to think of how I could represent this in my picture, because I have my 30 hundreds, because I had 2 extra zeros there. That must be where they got 30 hundreds from, into 5 equal groups. So if I bet something with my 6 here, because I figured out that 5 times 6 equals 30. So what if I do 6 and I have my 2 extra zeros? Let's try 600s. How many hundreds are in each group? 6 hundreds. We're going to check ourselves to make sure that we're right. How can the basic fact help find 3,000 divided by 5? So let's go ahead and check ourselves. Let's make sure that 600, we would have to add it up 5 times, or we can multiply, and I'm going to show my work right down here. So 600 times 5. I'm going to do my basic fact. 5 times 6 is 30, and I'm going to add these 2 zeros to get 3,000, and so that is correct. So I had 600s because of those 2 extra zeros on the end. How can the basic fact help find 3,000 divided by 5? 5 times 6 equals 30, and we had 2 more zeros in 3,000, so 600 times 5 equals 3,000. All right, this one was a little tricky because 6 times 5 is 30 and it ended in a 0. So we're going to practice this, so don't worry yet. It might seem hard, but that's okay because today is the very first day that we're trying this division. Explain how to find the number of miles the Chase family will drive each day. So we create a division problem. And then turned it into a multiplication problem. So we create a division problem, and then we turned it into a multiplication problem, and then we used basic facts. And our zero trick and zeros to get the answer. All right, let's see what page 123 has in store for us. The area model below shows the numbers for the Chase family trip. So we have 5 and 3,000. 5. This looks a lot like that area model strategy that we use for multiplication. So 5 times 600 equals 3,000. The area model shows both multiplication and division. Here are 2 possible ways you could break apart the factor 600 and the total 3,000. So they broke it into 300 plus 300, and we know that 5 times 3 is 15 with 2 zeros. And then if we add 1,500 and 1,500, or 1,500 plus 1,500, we get our total, which is 3,000. Here's another way they broke it up. They did 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So if you didn't know that 5 times 6 equals 30, you could have done 5 times 1, 5 times 1, 5 times 1. You could have done that 6 times and still gotten the correct answer. It would have just taken us some extra steps. When you look at this model for division, the sum of the numbers in red is the quotient, or the result of the division problem. That seems important. I'm going to underline that. The sum of the numbers inside the area model, the sum of the numbers inside is the dividend, or the total you are dividing. The number at the side of the model is the divisor, or the number you are dividing by. Oh, so we just got 3 new vocabulary words, and I'm going to make an extra video for math vocabulary this week. Sometimes numbers don't divide evenly. The amount left over is the remainder. If you divided 17 baseballs equally among 4 brothers, each brother would get 4 baseballs, and there would be 1 baseball left over. This is written as 17 divided by 4 equals 4 with a remainder of 1. Explain. Okay, this is going back to this. Explain how an area model shows both multiplication and division. So right here, they put it in their words. An area model shows both multiplication and division. They want us to explain how it can show both. So the easiest way that I remember how to do division is because it's the opposite of multiplication. So that's how I'm going to do it in my own words. So an area model, I'm using part of the sentence in my answer to make a complete sentence. An area model shows multiplication and division because they are fact families the same 3 numbers are used just in different orders. And I'm going to go ahead and write down that to explain myself what I mean by different orders. So 3,000 divided by 5 equals 600, or 600 times 5 equals 3,000. All right, remember, don't get nervous. We're going to work with this, and before you know it, you guys will be dividing whole numbers. If you have any questions, please let me know.